Hi, I'm Kelsey Zeiser, Senior Editor at Light Reading, and we're here at Automation Everywhere in Dallas, and I'm joined by Jim Fagan with Telstra. Good to see you, Jim.
Great, thanks for having me, Kelsey.
Yeah, good to have you here. So you delivered a keynote earlier this morning, and you talked a bit about Telstra's approach to automation and how the cloud has driven some of your strategy toward moving toward automation. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think with the automation, it's such a broad topic, and particularly when you're working, trying to automate your networks and automate your tool sets, it can be a bit overwhelming. So what we really looked at was, what's a use case that's ready for automation now? Where are customers? Where do they actually have a demand? Where do they have a need? And where can we actually do what we do really well as a carrier to actually provide that? And it's become really clear over the last couple of years that most enterprises are moving to a multi or hybrid cloud model, whether that's using multiple hyperscaler clouds like Amazon, Google, and Azure, or a combination of those clouds back in their own data centers or a third-party data center. And then where you start to get into that question then is, well, wow, now these actually need to be connected. You take even then now I'm using a SaaS provider like a Salesforce. So how do I actually get that into my enterprise network architecture? How do I secure it? And then how do I actually get the value for the reason why I'm in cloud? So that idea of having the network be available on demand, having the ability to actually map what I spend for network to my cloud spend. How do we get out of a manual physical connection that would take 10 to 20 days for a customer on a fixed contract, and how could we get it where it would actually mirror the customer and how they connect to cloud? So that's really where we first focused on our network automation, was making that simple and really trying to get to the point with an end goal in mind of, we kind of call it click to connect.
Okay.
So basically where a customer can go from their data center into a public cloud and actually get a private connection on demand that'll be available within 2 minutes. They can pick their amount of bandwidth, they can pay for what they use, and it automatically connects into their cloud environment. And we've gotten a lot of uptake on that and a lot of positive feedbacks for customers, because that's really a case of where we're using automation to actually solve a business need right now.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And what are some other ways that a fully automated network can help Telstra and customers realize those digital transformation benefits?
Well, I think I'll start with the customer, because I think it's really important to always start there. And I think, any industry, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, there's a digital revolution transformation going on, and it's obviously one of the bigger topics that I think we've all been speaking about the last year or two. But if you look at what the drivers are, it really is connectivity. It's how do I actually get my data, my applications to on any device, anytime, anywhere. And really that's been driven by the revolution of cloud and what cloud's done for application development. And you think about stuff like microservices, et cetera, and how you architect applications differently. But the network was actually behind on it. So really, again, this is about how we actually come in and solve a problem for a customer, how we make it easier, how we give them that cloud experience for the network. And so for them, what it basically means is it could be a faster time to market. It could actually end up meaning that they actually have a better connection into their supply chain. It could just be efficiency that they get out of running their day-to-day operations. But again, it's about us exposing those automated tool sets to them to allow them to apply it to their business on where it makes sense for them to get that benefit and that return. So it really was how do we actually expose our network to our customer and let them utilize it? So that's really kind of where we think about when we think about the automation. And where that benefits us as Telstra is that automation actually then makes it easier for us to actually develop new products and services. It makes it a lot easier for us to assure those. As we start to get more and more automation in the network, we actually start to get better data on how the network's performing. That allows us to start applying techniques around machine learning and AI so we can actually run and manage those networks better, which again, for the end customer, that comes out to a cost and performance benefit. And for us, that really opens up the potential to get a lot of savings.
Okay. And you mentioned machine learning and AI, which has come up a lot today. But you also said during your keynote it's important not to get distracted by the coolness of the technology. And so how do you stay focused on that end goal of automation and delivering those benefits you talked about to your customers?
Well, one of the things that we've done that, and we always go back to it, is we stick to a few core principles as we develop the Telstra Programmable Network on what were a few core principles. And the first thing is that we always start with the customer use case. So everything starts with how would a customer utilize this feature, this function, this capability? So it always starts with the customer. So that's the first piece with it. And the second piece with automation, how we stay true to it, is we do actually have a rule with the team and in place and with the platform, is that we will not build anything that cannot be 100% automated. So even if we have to go put in a manual process for an interim period, saying that we'll eventually automate it, we won't build it, because that's kind of that slippery slope that once you start doing it, you kind of never go back and fix those things. So it's really making sure we stay to those two kind of core tenets. And then when you kind of focus on that customer outcome, that kind of build process that everything's going to be automated, that kind of leads you to your technology choices, and you try to figure out the best technologies to use to get to those solutions. And then that keeps you from kind of just going, well, everybody's doing AI, so I need an AI solution.
Right.
Because, okay, what do I need an AI solution for? And that being said, do we actually sandbox a lot of these technologies? Does the team work on them and see, perhaps is there an outcome there that we can get? But we really never build a solution looking for an outcome.
Okay.
It's always trying to solve it, and then we go try to get the best available technology and keep it within the principles of our platform.
Okay, that makes sense. And today we've also talked a lot about some of the different challenges with network automation and changing those employee skill sets and helping network engineers have the skills necessary for automation is really important. What's Telstra doing to help those employees develop the right skill sets for automation?
So you have to tackle this from a lot of different areas. There's no really one right answer for it. So clearly, as a network carrier provider, one of the things that we need to augment as a company is really that software skill, the software skills to bring in the automation. So a lot of that is, clearly bringing in, software engineers who have the capability in cloud, who have the capability around software-defined network and NFV, to really kind of start that software development and creation process. But I think one of the advantages we have is nobody knows the network and I'm not speaking just for Telstra, but for all of us in the industry, like our network engineers. And at the end of the day, as much as we all get excited about everything's automated and it works and it's fantastic, there's a very complex network underlying it, and that you really need that intelligence to augment that software skill. So really what we've been working on is how we actually put those teams together so we can leverage their capabilities. And then it comes down to, two front we're actually definitely focusing on bringing people into the company, so recent graduates, and training them in both skill sets, so kind of doing that organic growth. But then also clearly, as I said, we have a wealth of talent both on the software side and the network side. It's how we cross-train them and how we bring them up to speed together.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, thanks so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a great day at the event. Thanks, Kelsey.